Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Kalico, and I thought of a interesting idea for a video today that I don't really see people do very often. And the idea is to rank my favorite maps from each difficulty in Bloons Tower Defense 6. And if you're wondering, yes, the footage in the background is being played on a console. I, for some reason, cannot get my Streamlabs to work on Steam to record things like Stardew Valley or Bloons Tower Defense 6, so I just had to thug it out and go through my PlayStation and use this to capture the audio. But to break it down on how I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to have my favorite map from that difficulty, and then I'm going to have honorable mentions, and then I'm going to have dishonorable mentions. And that's how we're going to do it. So to start this off, we're going with my favorite map from beginner, and that is the cabin. The reason I picked this map is because I think out of all the maps in beginner, this is the most unique. I know that we have 1, 2, tree, and I'd say that is probably the most unique, play wise out of all the maps in beginner. But I think out of aesthetic wise, the cabin is the most unique, because the only darker themed maps in beginner is the cabin and carved. And for that, I really like the cabin because it has a horror-esque vibe to it, and I love horror. Another thing that I love about the cabin, and most of y'all might not know this, but it's one of the only maps that take place in the nighttime. There is what I believe is the cabin, carved, and then we have encrypted and haunted. And I don't think dark path counts because I don't think it's in the dark. I just think it's in the snow, so it's a dark map. And bloody puddles, not very sure if that's in the dark either. It's kind of hard to tell, but it very well could be. So I think that adds on to the uniqueness even more, and that's why the cabin is in my favorites. And I just love how it plays. It has a nice structure from top to bottom. I like the little details of the house and the car and the water portion, so it's very well rounded. So yeah. Now the honorable mentions for beginner for me is carved, park path, and frozen over. I really like these maps. I think they're my favorite, and well, not my favorite, but I think they're right up there with favorite and deserve to be in the honorable mention. And for dishonorable mention, I really like all the maps in beginner, but I think I'm unfortunately going to have to give it to either end of the road or middle of the road. How ironic, because I don't really like either of these maps that much. So yeah, that is beginner. Now going on over to intermediate, we have Sulphur Springs. I really like this map because of how unique it is. I love the colors in this map. I love how it plays. It's such a unique playing style for the intermediate maps. One of my favorite characters is Sada, and she does particularly well in this map, so I'm a little biased, but I really like this map. I enjoy playing it with how I play the game, with a lot of subs and water monkeys like the Mermonkey and the Buccaneers and the subs, and it works well with my favorite hero too, Sada. So everything just kind of works out for this map, and I really enjoy it. And the colors go a very long way. I love how the lava looks, and I love how the water goes with the lava. I think it just has a very unique contrast, and I'm just a big fan of it. So for the honorable mentions of intermediate, we have a lot of options. There is a lot of great maps, but just looking through, there's so many good maps. I think Covered Garden, because it's so unique and I love how it looks. Quiet Street, because I love the aesthetic on that map and I think it plays really nice. And then on the last one, we're in between Haunted and Shoots. So the honorable mentions for this is Covered Garden, Quiet Street, and Haunted. The dishonorable mentions for intermediate for me is Adora's Temple, Firing Range, and Bazaar. Now, I'm not saying that these maps are bad. I just never really liked these maps. I never liked playing on them, and I never liked how they looked. So apologies if I kind of dunk on a map that you really like, because none of the maps in this game are bad. These are just my personal opinion, and these will be in intermediate. Moving on up to advanced, we have a lot of options, but I decided to go with off the coast. The reason I picked off the coast is because I like the colors. I like the dark blue and the really bright sand portion of the map. And I also really like using the Buccaneers on this map and using Quincy, my second favorite hero. And for that reason, this map is really good for me because I get to use my favorite characters and they get to be used very well. All of my favorite characters like Mermonkey, Buccaneer, the Sub, and Quincy, and the Glues, and the Ice, they all work very well on this map. So it all just kind of works out for me. I really like a lot of the maps in advanced, so picking the honorable mentions is going to be but I think I'm going to go with Cornfield, Another Brick, and High Finance. I really like High Finance. It's really good. So those are the honorable mentions. For the dishonorable mentions, I am going to go with Dark Path and Geared. I really don't like Geared. Now, I will say I haven't played a good amount of the maps in advanced because I just got back into the game recently. So maps like Sunken Columns, Midnight Mansion, Erosion, like these maps I haven't played before. So just keep that in mind. Moving on up to Expert, we have Dark Castle. This has been one of my favorite maps ever since I played it for the very first time, very, very long ago. Damn, my throat. Anyways, Dark Castle has been one of my favorite maps since I played it a very, very long time ago, and nothing has really changed. It's kind of one of the only like expert maps that I can even beat sometimes. I know that's crazy, but there's so many hard maps in expert. We got #ouch, Muddy Puddles, we got Bloody Puddles, which is way harder. We have like maps that just look super confusing, like Infernal and Sanctuary and Ravine, and like there's just so much going on at the same time, and I just feel like I can't even process it. So I naturally gravitate towards Dark Castle because it's such a simple map, and there's also room for my subs on this map. And yeah, the only thing that I don't like about this map is that I can't really use either of my favorite heroes that well. I mean, Quincy's alright, but I don't know. I feel like Geraldo is way better for this because it's a harder map. And I really like Workshop too. It's very close between these. For these honorable mentions, I have to kind of be a little more because I haven't played most of these maps. So for my honorable mentions, I'm going to go Workshop, Flooded Valley, and I'll go with #ouch, just because it was basically impossible to beat on chimps when the game first came out. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that was awesome to watch people try and beat it. For the dishonorable mentions, I'm going to go with Sanctuary and Bloody Puddles. Now, I think it's super impressive if you can beat Bloody Puddles, because I think it is second hardest map in the entire game, right beside #ouch. Maybe even harder, honestly. So it's like neck and neck, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if you think either of these maps are harder than the other. So yeah. And for Sanctuary, I just really think that it's very unfun to play on. It's such a hard map, and it's such a very unique way of playing with the things moving around while you're playing it. It's just so hard, and the problem is that it's so unique, so it's kind of cool, but I really don't like how the map looks, and I don't like how the map plays either. So like, even while Bloody Puddles is one of the hardest maps in the entire game, it looks cool and it looks like scary. It looks hard. But Sanctuary just looks very weird and looks super unique because there's basically not even a map. It's just leaves and vines and then the platforms that your monkeys will be on. So it's super unique, and I think it's unique in a good way, but also when it comes to the visuals, I think it's unique in a bad way, because I think they could have used like better colors to make it like stand out more and look more like easy on the eye and like it make me want to play it more. But not that it's like awful or anything. I just don't like how it looks, because when I look at these other maps like Glacial Trial and Infernal they're beautiful. Like a lot of nice whites and blues and like teal and like I think teal is blue. Anyways, like they're very pretty maps. But Sanctuary, I don't know. I just, yeah. But yeah, that's my ranking. Peace.